Hey, what's up guys? Good morning. So next day, not really next day, sorry I haven't really uploaded a video in 2 or 3 days, but I did a little bit of work on the car, but nothing really worth recording. Yesterday was the big day and I just didn't record it because it was kind of hard to record some of the stuff I did because I had to work next to the pedals. So basically the pedal right there, I took these out and I don't know if you guys can see this gold bolt right there, but basically I had to grind down the pedal, there's like a little bracket, and make a hole. And from there, I really don't know if I can even show you guys this, but do you see that rod right there? So that goes from the brake master and it's threaded, and there's a collar and I got a rod end that bolts into the brake pedal. So now the brake pedal's properly connected. I don't want to press it because there's no brake fluid and that could ruin the master cylinder. But as you guys can see, I had some issues where the bolts weren't lining up, and turns out that on the E46 only 2 bolts are gonna go in and they're diagonal. But I got that in. There's no brake fluid there. This is the clutch, because the clutch master feeds off of the brake fluid, so the brake fluid would go through this, and then that line right there goes into the clutch master, which is right on the clutch pedal, and then that line goes out of the firewall. And then our chase base kit, it connects to this line right here, which is made to connect to the BMW OEM clutch master, and that's how we get the throwout bearing to work. But as you can see, I have the new lines on here. This one is for bleeding, so we're going to be pumping the clutch once it's on. We're going to be pumping the clutch and opening this to release the fluid, and then closing it, pumping it, closing it. You know, just like bleeding your brakes, you're going to bleed your clutch. And then I got an engine mount yesterday on the car, and that's basically these are brand new bushings. I don't know if you guys can see, but they're brand new bushings. Let me try to find the old ones just to show you guys as a reference, but this is one of the old ones right here, and then this is the other old one, which was like totally ripped up. And the other bushing pair for the other mount, which is right there, is coming today actually. So they're gonna have fresh poly bushings. Another thing I did yesterday was mount the actual engine mounts. As you can see, I just need to put a bolt through there, but this bolt and this bolt is good. But so basically, as you saw, it's kind of a circle, so and that's bolted to the block, so the circle will kind of go in here. Then there's just a bolt that goes through both sides, and that's what holds that in. I ran the brake lines basically. The one that goes to the front, I tucked it super well. Like, I drilled a hole right there so it goes through, and right there is where it comes out. Then that's where there will be another line that connects from there to the actual brake helper. And then same thing with this side. I gotta get some zip ties, but it's gonna be zip tied along there. Runs. Drilled a hole right there, goes through, then goes through there, and then it is right there. So that's cool and all. The rear brake lines though, they actually required me to use my own fitting, not these BMW fittings, which kind of sucks. Basically, I'm gonna have to take a grinder and cut this a little bit off, this little notch, take these fittings off. I just got a brake flare tool, so I'm gonna have to put their fitting on, both of them, and then flare this, and then I can connect the 2 rear brake lines to this fitting. And then technically I can bleed the brakes, but I probably won't do that immediately because I just wanted to get the engine bay sorted. But I actually have all the things I need now to mount this engine to the trans. These are the trans bell housing to the engine bolts, and then over there is the flywheel bolts, which I had to order. And yeah, and then we're gonna put on the flywheel, which is that one right there, and then the clutch kit goes on top of the flywheel, and then the trans goes to the engine. So we'll probably be doing that today, but first I have to cut apart the trans bracket, because this is the trans bracket and this isn't how it comes with the kit. Actually, all this stuff right here is added on because he had a different like Corvette trans or something like that. So he made a custom bracket for it, but all I really have to do is just cut his welds apart and cut that off, because all it's supposed to be is this bolt into the body of the BMW, and then right here is where it bolts into the T56 trans. And that's really it technically. then we can maybe start contemplating wiring and possibly getting it fired up. I don't know if I don't want to make promises, but hopefully I can get it to like fire and maybe run this weekend, because it's Memorial Day weekend, which means I have a 3-day weekend. Today's Saturday, but I'm off on Monday, and I'm not going to do a thing on Monday. So, you know, I have a ton of time to work on this thing, which is nice. I think Rachel's going to be doing her headliner in her car and her interior stuff while I'm doing this. But yeah, I don't know what the next move is. Actually, I bought special paint to spray the headers black for heat resistance, like the coating. And plus I think it'll just look clean, everything black. So I'm gonna do that.
Traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Hey guys, so I just put the flywheel on and torqued it all to 75 foot-pounds. It's an OEM flywheel, like a stock one, so it's steel and pretty heavy. I wanted an aluminum one just because it'll rev up higher if it's aluminum, but oh well, we have something to do later. Like I said, either way, this is all going to be taken apart in a few months or half a year or something like that. But anyways, now I'm going to put on the clutch. This is a twin disc clutch, if I didn't mention that already. The second disc is there and the first one is in there. Twin disc clutch basically just means that it can handle more power while still having a very light pedal feel like OEM. This is a McLeod one, really good brand. McLeod is actually who sponsored the Tuner Battlegrounds thing at SEMA that the car went to last year. But anyways, this clutch has like around 5,000 miles on it. At a very high horsepower, about 600 wheel. It's rated to about 650, 700 foot-pounds. But like I said, this motor isn't making anything close to that. It's making like 420, 430 foot-pounds. So yeah, so let's get it on. And then after that, we can probably put the transmission on. And then the headers, as you guys saw, I painted the headers. I think they came out pretty nice. And then we can start contemplating putting it on. Also, for the other engine mount, I just saw the postman drive by, so that means the bushings are probably in the mailbox, so I have to go get those, change those out, and yeah, it's working pretty well. The only thing I didn't realize, which I don't think I mentioned, is that the trans actually has a bushing mount on it, or I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but there's a bushing mount that actually bolts to this, and then it bolts to that transmission mount. So I found Advanced Auto, they actually have an aftermarket poly one for $35. It's about 30 miles away, so we'll probably take a drive down there, but it's not a necessity because I can have the engine mounted and the trans held in with a jack for now, so it's fine. But
something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
So it is now like 6-7 hours later. This car, well, this engine absolutely kicked my ass. I literally, everything was going perfect. I thought, hey, I'm gonna get the engine and trans in the car today, 100%. Tomorrow I can wire it. And wanted to put the trans on, and I'm sorry, I'm really exhausted. My back is absolutely killing me from how much I picked up that thing. I don't know if you guys could see that little gap right here where the bell housing meets the engine, but there's basically a 1/4 inch gap there, and it won't slide on anymore. I took off the clutch. I checked. I used an alignment tool when I put the clutch on, as you guys saw. I slid the shaft from the trans into the motor, and it goes fine. I slid the clutch discs onto the shaft, goes fine. But it can only go past the clutch discs, and then it doesn't want to go that last 1/4 inch into the pilot bearing. As you know, the throw-up bearing, the clutch, the flywheel, and that trans were all used together, so they should work together, but I'm not really sure what's going on at all. I tried tightening the bolts, but I'd rather not, because the bell housing already has a crack in it, and I'd rather not expand on it, but absolutely driving me crazy. It's kind of why I like the bike more, because it doesn't give me any problems, and I can just ride it and have fun. But yeah, really stressed out. It's literally all I've been doing for the past 6 hours. Like me and Rachel haven't even ate. She's been doing her car. I think she finally finished wrapping her headliner in this like tropical fabric. Holy crap though, I'm absolutely, I haven't worked this much on a car since like back in New Jersey, like before SEMA. I'm absolutely exhausted. My back is killing me, and I'm gonna go cook some food now because I'm so hungry. Just want to say I'm sorry, guys. I was really thinking that I could get the engine in the car today, but this is the sad reality of modified cars and all this, and shit sometimes just happens like this, and it really sucks. But I have no idea. I'm gonna do some research. I don't really know what kind of research I can even do. I don't know. Just hopefully figure this out, because I'd like to hear this car run by Monday. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.